Look at this for a flop. A Jack 8-9 flop. And we know Antonius has 10-8 of hearts. What a flop for him. Low has, we know, a Queen of Diamonds. That'll work for that board. And Patrik with bottom pair and a straight flush draw. Bets. Makes the pot 121,000. We still don't know what Paul knew he had. And he was the aggressor pre-flop. It looks like Low looks like he's going to stay involved. Yes, he makes the call.
Trying to look as nonchalant as possible. We know he's got at least a gut shot.
And Paul will fold. 2 players remain. Here comes the turn. It is a king of hearts, so Patrik's flush. Well, he's got a lock on this hand unless... Well, he does have a lock on this hand. Low can't... Well, there it is. Queen Jack offsuit, so Low with a pair of jacks. They both check. We go to a river. Another jack. That'll cost Low a lot of money, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, I mean, the board is still very drawy. But there's 3 hearts on there. There's straights possible. But Low does have trips. I think he's going to call a decent size bet. And the fact that he's got 75 billion in front of him.
Well, decent it is. $130,000. And Low's first instinct was to pick up chips, and he just puts them in there. 130 grand.
Oh my God.
So Low realising that he's beaten.
He
doesn't even want to let go of his cards.
So bad, doesn't he, Paul?
Yeah, how unlucky. He's opened with ace-3 of hearts. Low Xing Fung comes along for the ride. Wait and see what he's got. Ivy's involved with 2-5 of diamonds. Certainly a lot of hands you won't see in tournament poker, that's for sure. Polk looks like he's in there with pocket 4s.
Well, in tournament poker, a lot of the time we're rather short stacked relatively.
Well, it could be a lot of action on that flop, Grant. There's 6-5-4 there, 2 hearts. We have... Well, Antonius has got the nut flush draw, and Polk's flopped a set. And we still don't know what all the cards are.
Polk has a set. Richard Young has at least a gut shot straight draw. Phil Ivey has a pair and the bottom end of a gut shot. Antonius, like you said, has the nut flush draw plus an open ender.
Fold.
Well, Low folds. He gets out of there. He had Queen Jack offsuit. Now we're going to find out what Richard Young had.
I think we're going to see some...
He raised.
Well, I mean, he could have 8-7. Have both of these players in bad shape.
Just over $130,000. Polk will call.
And this pot will swell much bigger than $175,000, I'd say, Paul. Patrik not going anywhere.
Antonius casually calls. What a turn this could be. A Queen of Hearts, so Antonius with the nuts now.
Well, we know Richard Young is drawing dead, regardless of what his other card is.
And his body language kind of suggested a resignation in that check. Now over to Polk, who's still sitting with a set of 4s.
Yeah, Polk can still win this hand. We know at the moment Patrik has a lock on it.
Oh, Patrik's going to place a pretty big bet here. He may not want to see the river. 115,000. Richard Young, who made a big raise on the flop, is now out. And Polk, with a set of 4s, has got to pay 115,000 if he wants to see his set turn into a full house. Or maybe.
Well, it's a fine line for Patrik. He obviously wants to get value from his flush here. But at the same time, he doesn't want to lose Doug.
Doug makes the call, so the pot swells to almost $450,000. The river, a 7 of diamonds. No full house for Polk. He checks. Now Antonius has the nuts. How much can he get out of him?
Well, it's a good card for Doug. It's now 4 to a straight there. He may be able to get away from it. I'd say Patrik's going to shove. It's 445 in the pot. He has 200,000 behind.
Yes, you're right, Grant. He has moved all in. I can't imagine.
Doug probably thinking that river card sucks. I can't call now. Little does he know it's helped him a lot and helped him get away from the hand.
You're right. He lets go of his set with a bit of a smile and a big sigh. And Antonius, who lost a big hand before, collects a lot of plaques, which we know are 25,000. There's a lot of orange ones in there too. Doug Polk with 7-4 offsuit, and Patrik Antonius, we don't know yet what he has. And the flop, a 7-4-5, so he must have known Grant.
It's easy when you know it's coming, Paul. Just top and bottom pair for Doug. No idea what Patrick's got.
That's 6,000.
It's 2 clubs on board. So there's a draw out there. Pretty coordinated board.
Well, Antonius bets 6,000 and Polk calls, the pot climbing to 18,000. The turn, a 5 of hearts.
Now that is a card that could potentially counterfeit Doug's hand. He's leading out.
5,000.
I guess he wants to know where he stands in the hand. If Patrick has an overpair here, then he's taken the lead. Obviously, if he has a 5, that's also good. Or if he has a better 7, that's now good as well.
23,000.
Well, Polk electing to lead into Patrick that time. Patrick having none of it and raising.
And Doug flopped a very big hand that has become a much smaller hand. He just has 2 pair 7s and 5s with no kicker. Still has top pair, of course, but it's very vulnerable at this point.
Well, he makes the call. You can hear a lot of chatter at these tables. Quite incredible. We're talking about prop betting and stuff. The river is a queen of spades.
I expect Patrick continue with the aggression here. Reach for a lot of chips.
It's a big decision, isn't it? He obviously thinks he's good here. He's reaching for chips. He's not convinced with Patrick's big bet. Oh, look at this. He's reaching for more chips than I thought he might.
Well, he realises his hand doesn't have a great deal of value, and he thinks he can get Patrick off by putting in a big raise.
Wow, this is going to be a big raise. Well, let's wait for the amount.
Re-raise on seat 4.
And Patrick has to have a think about this.
302,000 is the bet. The pot now at almost $500,000, and Patrick turning almost like an action hero and looking at him with a stare. He can't believe that raise came.
He's probably wishing he'd just bet about half pot. The fact that he's bet so big means he's faced with a huge raise.
All of a sudden, all the chatter at the table has backed off. They've realised that these guys are in a $500,000 pot.
He doesn't like it. And I'm almost certain that Patrick's got the best hand here.
I call.
Wow, he does call. Let's see if you're right, Grant. He turns over his hand. And it is 8-6. So, wow, look at that. He's flopped a straight. He must have considered that that was a full house that he was going to call off to. You can see Patrik Antonius is now well up, almost $600,000 in profits.